What's going on, guys? Liam here, and it's time to wrap up round 21 of the 2023 NRL season. And god damn, it was a good round of footy. Plenty of games that meant a lot. Top 8 starting to take shape. Man, I love rugby league, man. It's been a good year. It's been real good. Now, we'll go through this video. We'll go through each game, who won, all the results. We'll have a look at the ladder, have a look at the casualty ward, and to see how the top 8's all shaping up and stuff like that. And she's shaping up. It's top 8's looking a lot different than it was 4 weeks ago. Put it that way. God damn, I thought it was just about set. But anyway, what do you do? All right, we'll go through the results first. So we had the Dragons nudging out the West Tigers. Was scraping home against the Raiders. Broncos dealing with the Bunnies. Roosters getting the job done against the Titans. Goddamn Knights getting it done against the Storm. Cowboys beating the Parramatta Eels. Panthers humping the Bulldogs. And I haven't refreshed this since half time. And well, I had the Seagulls beating the Sharkies. Wow, that was crazy. That was nearly the comeback of the biggest comeback of all time. 30-0 to winning, and Will Kennedy had a chance to ice it. Man, he could have got that. Sorry, not could have got that. He should have kicked it wide instead of kicking for himself. But anyway, that's footy. All right, so we'll have a quick look at the ladder. We'll just refresh this to make sure it's all up to date. Okay, so is it? So Manly won, so they've gone up. Yep. Okay, so we're all square now. So Parramatta and Rabbitohs losing, so Cowboys skipping up into 7th. Look at that. Now, I was one of the people when Cowboys started their little streak saying it's going to be tough for them to get in, just because the main reason I said this was everyone in the top 8 was winning games. So if you're winning games and so are the top 8, you don't move up. So obviously, then all of a sudden, Sharks, Parramatta and Rabbitohs all start dropping like stones. Is wild. They hadn't looked at, well, Rabbitohs had been dropping a few, but Latrell was out, and Latrell's injuries just kept going longer and stuff like that. And Parramatta and Sharks all of a sudden just dropping games, and it was just, okay, all of a sudden, boom, there's weeks to go, and Cowboys already in the 7th, so they've been absolutely killing it. And yeah, Penrith getting it done as usual. Broncos, no movement up there, but look at those wires, up into 3rd place. Wow, that's absolutely huge. I wish they were playing each other close to the end of the year, because that would have been cool if they could have played off for a home final. That would have been awesome, but I don't think they play each other again for the rest of the year. So they played once over in New Zealand, I think, so I don't think they're playing each other twice this year, unfortunately, but that would have been pretty damn cool. But Wires flying high. They got the bye next week. Absolutely nuts. So, and Broncos have the Roosters next week, so that'll be one to keep an eye on. Storm drop down, Raiders drop down. Yeah, really interesting. Have a real quick look at the Judiciary, just because there's obviously this time of year injuries end. So we've got the casualty ward as well, but we'll have a look at the Judiciary because there was a few scary ones. So Harry Grant got cited, but only a fine. Tarek Sims is looking quite a few matches on the sideline. That's big for them. I'll get into why it's big for them in a minute. Elliott just a fine. Wonga Blake fine. Val Holmes, the shot on Mitch Moses, I don't think he should have got suspended, but god damn, I've seen I didn't think Sevo's one where he got 4 weeks. I didn't see much difference in that. But again, I'm sick of superstars missing games, and he's a superstar. I want to see him play, so I'm cool with that. Ryan Madison can take the early guilty plea as well, which is thank God for Parramatta, because geez, they're dropping like flies out there too. And to power 3 matches for his Jorge Masvidal kick. Who else got bans? And Jesse Arthurs as well gets a match. So a couple for the Broncos there. And then that's it, the rest are fines. So yeah, crazy casualty ward as well. So a few coming back. Flegler back next week. Addo Carr's back. Kikau's back too. And Jacob Preston back too. Nanai, we're not too sure about his injury yet. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm sure we'll find out very soon. And Neem, I think, will be fine. I'm pretty sure that was just a Category 2, so he should be good. Who else? RCG's 25. Dillbag's back 23. Wiremu Greg, Parramatta need him back next week. And Sean Lane's dislocated elbow. Oh man, that was so bad looking. I thought he got kicked in the head. Chad Townsend. And then I looked at his elbow. I was like, damn. crazy, absolutely crazy. Who else? So Spencer Lenu did his MCL. I don't know if it's done or strained or whatever, but we'll have to wait and see. And Tago's a late scratching as well. Who else we got? Who's anyone else coming back? No real names. So Uele, Sharks need him back ASAP. Who else? Anyone else coming back anytime soon? Not really. All right, let's get into the games. All right, Dragons, Cows. I actually didn't really mind this game, eh? It was all right. Like for two teams at the absolute bottom of the ladder. Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was actually like an okay game, sort of thing. So I just quickly, how many did I hit this week just from last? So I think I got 2 wrong this week. So I got Dragons right, got Wars right, actually. I'm giving myself. So I'm going to give myself bonus points here and then take points away too. So I did have Dragons to win, but then I actually punted. I had Tigers to cover the line, so double hit. Now I did tip the Rabbitohs, but when I heard Latrell Mitchell's out, I actually bet on the Broncos. So I'm going to give myself half a point for that one. All right. We had the Roosters. We got this one wrong, and we got this one right. We got this one right. So we got 2 wrong this week. So pretty good. Not too bad. I'm happy with 2. It's very hard to get a perfect round, but two's a pass mark, and getting 1 wrong's an A. All right. Let's get back to this. Now, I might be crazy, but I see a pretty good footy team in here, eh? To me, it was. We'll see when we get to the team stats in a minute where they lost the game. And to me, it was Brendan Wakeham. Don't want to disrespect the guy. Don't want to kick him in when he's down, but he's just not a first grade half. He's not. He's really not. But I thought the forward pack was good. I thought that you'll see in a minute the ruck speed and all that sort of stuff was great. Really good to see. I thought Dane Laurie was brilliant. I've always rated this kid. I thought he was one of the most underrated players in the NRL last year. He was absolutely killing it, and they never really got a shot again this year. And I thought he was brilliant, and he was trying his ass off. His defense was pretty good. Like, I actually think he was really, really good. I actually think if you gave him a full year at 6 and like maybe Dewey at 7, I honestly think he could do it. He's got those great instincts. Goes in when he should go in, goes out when he should go out. He scoops. He's a really handy footy player. Like we saw last year when he played fullback, a little dicey at the start. And he just got better and better and better. And by the end of the game, I was slapping him my anytime try scorers, and they were hitting all the time. He was absolutely killing it. But Wakeham's goal kicking, but also just his in-game kicking it's putrid. It's so bad. It's so substandard. It is cup standard for real. It's pretty damn bad. And I think you got to get Lomax in at fullback. I really like him at fullback. I think that's his position. I think not quite on their level, but that Joey Manu, Tom Travojevic, tall, big, athletic, can get you a ton of meters. He filled in there a bit again today, Friday, was it Thursday or Friday? And he just looked handy. He looked handy again. 224 meters. 80 post contact, line break assist, try assist, 5 tackle breaks. That's great. You can live with that. That's really, really good. Team stats. So we'll have a look at this, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Tigers were pretty damn good in this game. 77% completion, not great, a little down, but plenty of meters, plenty of post contact. They won the line breaks. They ran for more meters per set. And their ruck speed's great. Like this is Panther speed. This is great. It was like I said. I feel like sometimes because there's such a like in some of the lower like in soccer in the EPL and even in the NBA and stuff like that. Some teams just don't have any pressure to win games, and you can just sort of go away. I know it's been a long time since they've played finals already, but I just generally feel if the Tigers got left alone and there wasn't all this pressure and all this stuff and all this, they could actually put something pretty good together. But it's the win now mentality sort of thing, and sort of puts pressure on it. Tackle efficiency 89, great. Missed tackles 28 to 22. Pretty damn good. Errors under 10. Always say if you're under 10, you're doing pretty decent. But it was. I don't know. It was all right. But let's not talk about that game too much. Let's go in this one now. We'll try and go in a little bit more depth with the bigger games. Now, this for me was an odd one. It was actually think there was parts of this. Canberra were good, and you'll see in their stats in a minute. They were really, really good. It was just the lack of creativity, they didn't play any footy till the last 10 minutes. Like, they were just taking hit-ups, one-out hit-ups a whole bunch of the time. Again, I keep saying it, I don't like Jack White at 6. I think, what's that other fella's name? I think he should come in. What was his name? Yeah, Frawley. And I actually really liked him at 13. Punchy, really, really good. And I think they should have given that a bit more of a crack because, again, his kicking was horrible. Like it's in the first half especially. Like I said, he's one of my favourite players. If I'm picking a team, he's one of the first I'm putting in it, but I just don't know. And one of the main reasons too, this dude here, Tomoko, it's a bit like sometimes centres get bagged. Like I remember Katoni Staggs was getting it all last year and a bit at the start of this year. His stats are down and they go, he needs to go in and get his hands dirty and go get the ball. No, bro. The hookers, the 5'8", the 7 need to get him early ball. You know what I mean? There's no point in him running in the middle where there's tons of defence and just, well, what's he going to do? I mean, he's a freak, but he's not that much of a freak. We see Joey Manu do it. He comes in and he gets monstered half the time. You know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. He can pull it off every now and again, but to me, he needs to get early ball because he is so damn damaging. Like he is. I mean, I'm not saying he's top 5 centre, but he'd be, as far as like just dangerous, like he's probably a top 5 danger player. Like look at these, like he barely got the 14 carries. This was actually up a little bit, but a lot of these were in the first half. In the second half. I mean, he looks super dangerous, but 185 metres, line break, try assist, 7 tackle breaks. Like they're great numbers. He needs to get more ball, man. Like they need to. There was a set where I was just sitting there. Not a set, there was 3 sets where I think Warriors gave 3 6-agains on inside the 20 and they just kept pumping through the middle 1-out runs. I'm like, get these outside backs some ball. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, Jesus Christ. But then in the last 10 minutes, they look like they're the best team in the comp. Like, it's in them. It's just, I don't know, like, it's so bizarre to me too because obviously Ricky being such a great half, I don't know how to mock it. And this, like I said, these numbers are a little bit up, but still, I want him to have, like 18 to 20 runs. Like, this dude's a freak. The more that touches the ball, the more chance you have of winning the game. But, what do you do, man? What do you do? Let's have a quick look at a couple of the WARS stats here. Dallin saving tries, scoring tries. Line breaks, absolutely freaky. But Fanua Blake, I mean, he played 69 minutes in the middle, 20 runs for 205 metres, 89 post contact. It's just such a workhorse, man. Like, yeah, he's a freak, man. He's so good, so underrated. I thought Jackson Ford and Nakora were great. Sean Johnson, just give that dude the Dally M for real. Absolutely freaky. I thought Montoya was better. Nickel Coolstar, brilliant. But yeah, it was. And Josh Curran came on, smack it. He was really good, man. I was actually really impressed with him. But yeah, I can't really. It was just like, we'll have a look at the team stats and we'll sort of paint the picture, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. Like Raiders, technically, like stats wise, were a bit better. Like they had more ball. Plenty more time in possession, better completion rate. They ran for more metres, more post contact, more tackle breaks. You know what I mean? It was just didn't quite win the ruck, but close. Warriors are really good at that. It was just like it was a close game. It was really, well, obviously went to Golden Point. But yeah, it was just. I mean, Canberra tackled brilliantly. Like, these are really good numbers. I mean, missed tackles 21. That's great. If you can keep this well under 30, you're going good. Errors, a couple more than they would have liked, but Wales matched them, so it's not a huge difference. So Wales definitely not perfect. Raiders, I thought Raiders were, they were really good. There's just that little bit of lack of creativity, and I don't know, man. They got to sort that out. It's so late in the season now to make changes, and they can leave it the way it is. Like for real. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with this team. Like, this is a dope team, and again, I'll get to that in a sec. this is a really, really good team. They're going to win more games the rest of the year. They're going to make the finals. But I dare say if they just keep this line up the way it is, the way they keep winning games by such slim margins, I just see them getting bounced either in the first or second round. You know what I mean? That's sort of where I see them at the moment. I mean, it's still a pass grade as a season, but the goal isn't to get to the finals and get bounced. You know, the goal is to win a premiership. And this team, the way it looks right now, it's a bounce first or second round in the final. So, but having said that, there's plenty of room for improvement as well. There really is. So, who knows? Last month of footy, they might win some games by more than 13 plus. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So, and Warriors, pretty damn good, man. I mean, like I said, Sean Johnson's been killer. Dallon's just gone to a new level. Nakora, this is a big loss for them as well. He's become a real good line runner. It's a really good line runner. He's always good value with anytime try scorers too. So, just want to keep an eye on. Oh. All right, let's go. Rabbitohs, Broncos. Now, Broncos, Storm, Cowboys, Eels, Panthers, and Sharkies. I'm going to be critiquing you quite heavily here. Don't think I hate your team or I'm being a hater. We're now at the position now in the season where I'm looking at you like, are you a genuine threat? And like I just said with like I just sort of did with the Canberra Raiders, they were good. But like I'm gonna now be like critiquing these good teams, even in wins, because at the end of the day, the way you win games can quite often, you know what I mean? It can quite often show with how you're going to go the rest of the season and stuff like that. So, like there's winning well and there's losing well, and then there's obviously terrible losses and there's sort of terrible wins. Like there can be wins where you just almost get lucky, or whatever. But all right, so man, this was actually quite a strange game. I'm just having a look at my notes. In my notes, I've written, Broncos fans, get down on your knees and pray that Reynolds stays healthy for the rest of the season. And I'll pray with you. I'm not a Broncos fan, but Jesus Christ, he is so pivotal to this team, and he is just so damn good for a couple reasons. He's the general. He always makes the right play, and this as well. Just sniper. He's just a sniper. Absolutely smoking them through the middles, and that's good. Obviously, it helps you win games. It's good throughout the season because it's good for you for and against. And then if you kick out, if you can get a couple tries, you know what I mean, and you're just kicking conversions, it puts extra scoreboard pressure on the opposing team, sort of thing. So pray to God, Broncos fans, because Jesus Christ, he's been the difference in a lot of the games. And it doesn't really show. It's funny, it doesn't show because Reece Walsh should do something crazy, or Selwyn Cobbo does something crazy and stuff like that. And they get a lot of the, you know what I mean, the headlines and stuff like that. But I tell you, man, a lot of these games, I think Broncos wouldn't have been in if it wasn't for his savvy and stuff like that. He's brilliant, man. He's so damn good. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Now, I hated the way this game was reffed. Not the calls. Well, yeah, the calls. But not like, Broncos got screwed or Bunnies got screwed. They were just blowing everything. So there was 14 penalties in the first half between set restarts and actual penalties. And then in the second half, he just sort of stopped blowing. Like, you can't do that. Like, I don't want those infringements at the start, but if you blow on them at the start, you have to blow them through the whole game. So it was weird, man. It was such a weird game. Like it was hard to get in the rhythm of, because I'm sitting there and go, that's a penalty. Oh, okay, no, it's not. Oh, that's definitely a penalty. Oh, okay. Well, they were all penalties like 10 minutes ago, so why are they not penalties now? And again, not for either team, for both. Like, it was bizarre, man. It was such a bizarrely... I reckon if there was 14 penalties in the first half, I reckon there was about 40 in the second half. Like, there was a penalty on every set. But anyway, what do you do? That's the way it goes. So a couple, Marty Tapau got himself in some hot water, so did Jethty Arthurs, so they're both suspended for next week. So I guess Tristan Saylor will come in for them. But yeah, I thought Bunnies were well and truly in this, because at half time they were actually leading, and I thought they were really in this. And then Broncos forward pack in the second half really muscled up, and they really started to prevent the meters. And I felt like Rabbitohs really missed Totola, sort of thing. And they just really muscled up. And then when they, like I've said, halves went behind a beaten forward pack can't do much. When Broncos forward pack they weren't even super dominant, but they definitely were starting to win the arm wrestle. Reynolds started doing his thing, kicking perfectly, perfect sort of thing. So Broncos definitely weren't great for 80 minutes, but they were pretty damn good in that second half, and they obviously got the dub. They get 4 tries in the second half, which is great. So, I mean, I've always said it, you really want your second half to be your better half. It was funny, I was saying how great the Broncos were going at the very start of the year when they hadn't lost a game yet. And everyone kept going, oh yeah, but they were so shit in the first half. I'm like, who cares? You want, like, as long as you're close or whatever, and then you blow them off in the second part, who cares if you're there? You want your second half to be your strong half, for sure. Like, yeah, you don't want to get blown off the park in the first half, but you'd take a better second half team any day of the week, for sure. For sure. Now, we'll have a quick look at the team. So, Tusk, he did his thing. He was actually pretty damn handy, just a little body. I thought Campbell Graham was actually pretty good. Cody Walker looked frustrated. Sele was a forward pack was okay. Man, I was pissed off at McKeon, eh? I put him in as an anytime try scorer. He did not look like he wanted to be there. He barely put any effort in. Like, let's have a look at his stats. I haven't looked at these yet, but I'm assuming they're going to be pretty damn putrid for his high standards, because he's so he played the full 80, 7 runs in a full game of footy for 65 metres. No line breaks, no line break assists, no try assists, no engaged runs, no tackle breaks. He was just off. Like, I don't know if he was sick or what it was, but he was terrible. I was sitting there going, what are you doing? Jai Arrow actually was brilliant. Especially he seemed to be the only bunny trying at the end of this game. He was really good. Who else was good? I thought their bench was okay, but nothing special. I actually thought, all right, so we'll go to the Broncos. Reece was brilliant. Jesse Arthurs was pretty good too. Herbie good. Ezra Mann bit dicey in defence. Reynolds was good. Palacia was pretty damn solid. I was saying for a while now, I didn't know if Broncos could win a premiership with this dude making all their first decisions. And the last 2 weeks I was like, maybe he's pretty damn good. And then he was pretty damn bad in this game. They've got enough strike. He doesn't need just give good service, bro. Like, you're still learning the game. You're not Cameron Smith. You know what I mean? Just give good service. You've got Payne Haas. You've got Carrigan. You've got all these good guys. You got Flegler pumping through the middle. You got halves that can do stuff. You got a fullback that's dynamic. You don't have to do anything then other than give good service. Do your apprenticeship before you start trying to be Harry Grant. You're not Harry Grant, bro. And I felt like he was just trying way too hard. And I actually thought when Smoothie came on, you noticed a massive difference. And he played much better to Brisbane style. God damn, this kid's good too. This is Xavier Wilson. Bit of Tino about him. Really, really good. Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. I wonder how long he's locked up for, because Jesus Christ, they'd want to lock him up, because obviously they're going to have to pay Payne heaps. They've just paid Carrigan, and they're going to obviously, it's a couple of years away, but they're going to have to get the checkbook out for Reece Walsh soon too. So I'll be trying to sign this kid on a long-term contract for not much for the Broncos, because there's going to be some clubs trying to get this kid for sure. He's very Tino-y. Already scored triple the amount of tries as Pat Carrigan. And oh man, it was actually funny. When I saw he was playing on an edge, I was like, oh damn, I should have put him in as a try scorer, because much more likely to score a try out there. But old Paddy Twal strikes again, doesn't get a dub. Obviously, yeah, it's what do you do? But now Broncos look good. They were good, but definitely some tweaks. I still don't see premiership in them yet. I see them doing very well in the finals. I just don't see premiership yet. But that's not saying they can't. It's just saying there's never been a moment this year where I was like, ooh, they're the ones to beat, sort of thing. And that's where I still sort of stand. All right, so let's have a little look at the stats. And again, we'll have a look at these numbers. They've done this quite a few times this year where they've actually been pretty awful and got away with it. But what do? A win's a win. 65% and 66% completions for both teams, not good enough. Still ran for plenty of metres. Post-contact, pretty good considering. Line breaks 8-6. Tackle breaks 35. That's brilliant. Average set distance 40 metres, not too bad. Ruck speed pretty similar. What else we got here? Offloads 11 each. Defence 87-83. Terrible defence for the Bunnies. That's awful. 87's a passing grade, I guess. They're not too bad. Missed tackles 20. You can live with that. Missed tackles from Bunnies 35. Absolutely putrid. And then, yeah. So, Jesus, all those missed tackles, 35 missed tackles with 15 errors. That's not good rugby league from the Bunnies. So, ended up being a pretty putrid game. And that's, I mean, I'll give the Broncos a pass mark for this game, but it was not, I feel like they were killing it at the start of the season. And I was sitting here singing their praises, going, man, I think they're playing the best footy in the league. I think it was about 8 weeks in. And since then, 8 weeks to about now, they're winning games. They're still very much top 4 team, but I feel like they've just down a little peg, But having said that, they've got plenty of. It's been a long season. We'll have to wait and see. But hopefully they're not fading, because it looks like they might be. Not like fading like they're going to fall off a cliff like they did last year, but just like. It's a long season. You know what I mean? That's why, Panthers always sort of backload their energy for the season sort of thing. Plenty of resting of players and stuff like that. But yeah, so good from the Broncos, not so good from the Rabbitohs, and Broncos looking the goods. Top 4's getting closer and closer every week, locking up a top 4 spot. Now, we called this one Roosters. I actually had a lot of people saying, what a call on the Roosters. I didn't give them a chance. I was like, man, okay, so I'll tell you why. Teddy being back obviously helped. I've been doing videos so pretty close to full strength. Obviously, Radley's out, but Teddy at fullback, Suaalii at 5, and Brandon Smith starting in the 9. Now, there's this really smart YouTuber. He's been saying it for a while that Brandon Smith should be playing 80 and that Suaalii should play on the wing. I can't remember his name, but he's good, man. He's got good insight. So I'll tell you what. And what do you know? He was right. He was pretty handsome too. He was right. This is the best lineup that they can put forward in the back line. Obviously, if what's his name was there? Brain fart, can't remember his name, but yeah, this is when their back line looks the best, sort of thing. And yeah, Brandon Smith, all this, you can't play 80 minutes as a hooker these days. It's trash. It's absolutely trash. Doesn't mean it's the only way you can play. 2 hookers is great, but with all the ruck infringements, with all the penalties that are given, with all the captain's challenges, with all the head knocks, the game is slower. I'm so sick of people saying the game's faster. It's not. Like, there are so many breaks in the game now, it's ridiculous. It's like pretty much like a game of basketball. Like, the amount of times the ball goes out of play, it's ridiculous. Well, it's not ridiculous, it's just facts. Like, 10 years back, the ball was always in play. It was, you know what I mean? It was crazy. But what do you do? But yeah, Roosters look brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Teddy was just ridiculous. I mean, his numbers must have been ridiculous in this. Yeah, I have highlighted them. Where are we? 230 metres. 230 metres, 44 post contact, line break, 2 line break assists, 2 try assists, 4 tackle breaks. Ridiculous. That is insane. And Suaalii, man, again, finally seeing him on the wing. It was so good to watch him in the air again. Like, he was so brilliant in the air. Like, he might be the best guy in the air in the game, and he's sitting there in the centres. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that happened, eh? Trent Robertson's made some boo-boos this year. 16 points, great try. Ran for 200 metres, 63 post-contract, line break, 6 tackle breaks. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Suaalii. That's where he should have been playing all year. It absolutely blows my mind that didn't happen. I thought Lindsay Collins was brilliant. Absolutely ridiculous. What were his numbers like? Lindsay. He only ran for... What is he? And he ran for 79 metres? Damn, felt like a lot more than that. Jared, Jesus Christ, ran for 210. That's right, Lindsay was tackling like a machine. I got him mixed up. Jared Hargraves, his first stint was brilliant. Like this is ridiculous numbers, man. That is absolutely brilliant. Got a line break assist as well and a try assist. Oh no, that's Sandon Smith. Sorry, my bad. Wrong column. He got a line break assist though. But yeah, great. I actually didn't mind Nathan Brown playing lock. And Brandon Smith at 9. He's so good at 9. Like, you want Brandon touching the ball as much as you can. How I personally think they should do it right is carry a second hooker or whatever. You know, you can carry a second hooker on the bench or a utility or whatever. Just play Brandon Smith and just say go ham. And if it's a slow game with lots of head knocks and all this sort of stuff, he'll be sweet. And if there isn't, then just bring him off and bring your other hooker on. You know what I mean? But to me, I want Brandon Smith touching the ball as much as I can. He's close to untackleable in the middle. He's an absolute freak, and on a quick play the ball, he's lightning, absolutely lightning. So I'll tell you what, for real, you wouldn't want to be playing the Roosters on the way home. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're probably not going to make the 8, but they've got some that really worked. The defense still wasn't perfect. We'll have a look at their team stats, but you actually wouldn't want to play the Roosters on the way home because pretty much every other team has played them has got points off them because they've lost so many games. And then they could thump you. They're going to beat you up to the middle, and they can score plenty of tries on you, and they can beat you. And they could cost you a top 4 spot, or maybe possibly make you miss the 8, sort of thing. And yeah, they're going to be. They could just fall to rubbish again next week. But if they can field that same team from this weekend for the rest of the year, I think they could go on a pretty handy win streak, or just at least win more than half their games, sort of thing, for the rest of the year. And yeah, I mean, mathematically they could still make it, even though I don't think they can, but they're going to be playing like they can still make every single game, sort of thing. So they're going to be playing with tons of desperation. And who do they have next week, actually? Ooh, Broncos, danger game. That's a danger game. Where is it, I wonder? I'll have a look at that later. But yeah, so pretty damn solid. So 80% completion rate. Now, I know Titans actually won this one. But I know this is crazy, but this is actually one of their best, if not the best completion rate they've had this year, which is absolutely crazy. And having said that, man, I'll tell you what, it's before I get on to the rest of the stats. So Tino being out with this one. Now, Tino, for me, it's not like they win games because of him or anything like that. No, it's not like he's setting up the tries or anything like that, but his effort. And this is why I said, everyone says, who would you take, Payne or Tino? I say Tino every day of the week. It's just, all of a sudden, Moe, who's just been playing out of his skins, just doing arm grab tackles, and you know what I mean? He just wasn't doing the cover he usually does. And the thing is, I always, if I see someone busting their ass, I'm like, well, I've at least got to match that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he leads by example. He never gives, like, last year before, Titans were getting pumped by 40, and he's still smacking into defences, trying his ass off, and all of a sudden, their middle looked a little flimsy. Looked just so much more flimsy, not just because he wasn't there and doing all this great stuff. All of a sudden, it just felt like everyone else's effort was down a little bit. And not much, but like I said, Moe's probably been close to a top 5 prop this year, and he definitely wasn't that night. He was getting, Big Jared was going after him as well, and yeah, he was down at full peg for me. He was definitely not top 5 this weekend. He was way down. Roosters pumping through the middle, absolutely killed him through the middle. Won the post contact, nearly running for 50 metres every set. Great play the ball speed. Nathan Brown, he's got really good play the ball speed as well. So pretty solid show up, because like I said, the Titans weren't horrendous. I mean, missed a few more tackles than they would have liked at 35. Roosters missed a few as well. But yeah, if they generally want to go on a bit of a run at the end of the game, they definitely need to get this down. They need to keep this under 30, and obviously keep all these numbers good, and then keep this number around there as well. But if they can tidy this up to under 30, and with all the strike they have, they could win the rest of their games. I'm not saying they're going to, but they genuinely could. And obviously kept their errors under 10, so that's great. And like I said, Titans weren't horrible. They were as well, 7 penalties each. But yeah, so a bit of an interesting one. I would say that's the Titans season over, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a pretty entertaining game. I don't like the Roosters. I mean, I don't hate them. But there's a lot of players in the Roosters I love watching playing. I love watching Suoliti in flight. I love watching Joey Manu move. I love watching Teddy. I love watching Jared. You know, they got so many of my favourite players in it. So it was good to see him play good. It really was. Knights Storm. All right, I got a bit to say about this one. Now, what did I say before this game? I said, obviously, I like this team 1-13, but I really felt with playing Nelson on an edge, I really felt like it left their bench weak, and it's about to get weaker because Tarek Sims is off. Now, I started noticing this a few weeks ago, I think when they played Penrith, and a little bit before as well, when they sort of got their full complement back. They're probably the best team in the first 20 minutes. Like, they blew Penrith off the park in the first 20 minutes. But if you can just weather that storm and not concede more than 12, they really front load their energy and they try and blow you off the park early. And obviously most teams will just sort of fold. But if you can just not fold, not get too far behind, like Storm are up 12-0, 10 minutes in. And they just held on. And then they just kept doing their thing. And then they completely turned the tide. And they were genuinely better than Melbourne for 60 minutes of this game. They really were. Melbourne blew them off the park in the first 20. And yeah, like I said, we saw it with Penrith a couple of weeks ago. I've seen it in quite a few other games. That's just the one that sticks out at me. Where I was like, Jesus, they're going to put 30, 40 on Penrith here. And then Penrith just went bang, bang, bang. They're up at half-time. You're like, what? Well, pretty similar, I guess. I think they had 16 points this time. And they went into the half 16-18. And then Penrith outscored them, I think it was 18-0 in the second half. Never come close. Like, they just... Unfortunately, they just... You can really notice it, like, when... So, Trent Liero... so, when... Yeah, Tui and Christian Welsh go off. I think they brought Nelson off earlier this time than they normally do. But then all their punch goes, and they just lost all their middle punch. And I mean, Tarek, he's beast, but he's getting on. He probably doesn't quite have the punch he once did. And yeah, it's just I don't know. I've been saying for a while now. I think Sims has to go in the second row, and then bring Nelson on for one of the Welsh, and then Welsh would come a Kamitha, and you don't really lose much then, So. Yeah, that's the good thing about it is for Melbourne, it's a pretty easy fix. They've just got to stagger these guys a little bit. But yeah, this bench is just not good, eh? It's not good at all. I mean, not bad players, but it just zero punch after that thing. And then Nelson's most damaging when he's fresh. Like he's probably in the league the one player that can fully shift a full game on its head when he comes off the bench. You know what I mean? Like you've watched them. Melbourne gets packet and dominate, and then just one interchange, and then all of a sudden Melbourne's pack is fully dominating them. It's actually wild, absolutely wild. But man, you got to take your hat off to Knights, man. It was pretty damn brilliant. They were really, really good. We'll have a quick look. Kalen Ponga was damn crazy, but stinking it up with the boot, man. 2 conversions, like they should have won this by more. He's 2 conversions from 5, 1 penalty goal. Pretty damn 50%, pretty horrible. And the few weren't that hard either. He ran for 191 metres, 31 post contact, 1 line break, 2 line break assists, 1 try assist, and 5 tackle breaks. God damn, they're good numbers, Kalen. I cannot believe they'd moved him out of that position. Bradman Best, now, it wasn't his best game or anything like that. Got to try though. All runs 10 for 104 metres. Bradman Best still. Not his best game, 104 metres, 1 line break, 2 line break assists, 1 try assist and 4 tackle breaks. Bit average. But what I like now is they've realised they've got a gun. Like, they were actually... There was a few times when there was maybe an offload or something like that. I think Hastings got I think it happened twice, and they just pinned it. Like, they're in the middle, and they just pinned it straight to Bradman Best's side and got him running a straight line. Like, they're like, oh... No one can really handle this. It was really cool, man, because like he's being used as a weapon now. They've sort of realised what they got there. They got a gem, sort of thing. Greg Margie, look at those numbers. 8 tackle breaks. God damn. Dom Young, I mean, these are great numbers here. It was really good. They were just not giving up, not surrendering in tackles, fighting for every metre. Absolutely brilliant. Cam Munster, man, like Jesus Christ. I mean, 100. Do this again. 110 metres, 17 runs, 110 metres, 1 line break, 2 line break assists, 2 try assists. He's a freak, man. He's so damn good. But he can't do it all himself, man. He can't do it all himself. He absolutely can't. But yeah, like I said, it looks pretty fixable to me. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe with Sims gone, maybe Eisenhuth goes to an edge. And Big Nelson goes back to the bench. Or if you want to start Nelson, you can put Tui on the bench because Tui's pretty good off the bench too. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But really good from the Knights. Congratulations. Great win. They definitely weren't perfect. 76% with the ball, 80% for Melbourne. Pretty even with the run meters. But again, to get that over Melbourne's pretty damn good because they were losing this dramatically for the first 20 minutes. It was crazy. Look at those tackle breaks, 45 tackle breaks. Just fighting in tackles. Average set distance, 40 metres. Not too bad. Melbourne definitely did have pretty quicker play the balls. What else we got? Offloads, 9 to 8, pretty even. 40-20s, that's right. They got 1-2, that's great. Missed tackles, 36. So, it's not too bad. It's not horrendous. You are playing the Melbourne Storm. You're going to miss tackles. But yeah, look at that, 45 missed tackles for the Storm. God damn, 83%, not great. But yeah, they obviously want to get this a little closer to 90. But yeah, Melbourne, not good there. Marju was a handful, man. And 11 errors, so obviously want to get this under 10 if they can for the distant future. Because they're still a shot, man. They're still actually a shot of making it with Parramatta dropping like a stone, Sharks dropping like stones, Bunnies dropping like if Trell Mitchell, let's say he pulls his car for training again, like Bunnies are toast. You know what I mean? They're not going to win. Well, maybe not toast, but you know what I mean? There's a genuine chance that Knights could win more games than them this year. And Eels dropping like stones as well. Like, they're not out of it yet. They're not out of it. So, yeah, they're putting pressure on. All right, so that's all done. Yeah, but yeah, good win. But yeah, Storm definitely got some work to do. Like I said, I don't see premiership in them yet either, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, Parramatta Cowboys. Now, I've got a bit to say about this one. It was funny. I've read it. Well, didn't read, but I was just scrolling through Facebook, and there's all these articles about how the Cowboys pumped the Eels. I'm like, it was 4 tries to 3. Like, there was no hiding. Parramatta were way better at the end of the game as well. But I was like, what the hell? That's so weird. They were just like 0 tackle and all that. I was like, I don't know when 4 tries to 3 was a hiding, man. But anyway, but man. So again, Parramatta and Cowboy supporters, I'm going to critique you pretty harshly. I don't hate your team. I'm not talking down on your team. I'm not being negative. I'm comparing you to the gold standard of winning a premiership sort of thing. So, first thing, I don't think Parramatta can win the premiership. They can't finish in the top 4 from here. More players lost. It's not clicking this year. I think they've actually been playing some pretty damn good rugby league. Just key injuries at key times, blah, blah, blah. Started the season poorly. I actually think they're a pretty damn good rugby league team. I don't think there's 8 teams. I think them at full strength playing their best footy makes the top 8. But that's not the way footy's played sometimes. So yeah, they can play finals still, obviously. But I just don't see, just with the stop-start nature of their season, I don't see them doing even what they did last year sort of thing. So that's a wrap. Now again, I don't quite see, everyone's saying they can win the comp, and I'm not saying they can't win the comp. Of course the Cowboys could win the comp. But I'm just like, again, I've only really seen one good 80-minute performance, and that was against the Tigers. Like, again, that Cowboys fell off this game, and this is going to be Cowboys' huge problem for winning the comp. They've had to expend so much juice just to get into 7th spot. It's crazy. Like, it is. They are every game's been must win for the Cowboys for about 4 weeks already. Now there's another 5 weeks to go, and then we have 4 weeks of finals. You get what I'm saying? So that will take a massive edge on you, and that's why finishing that top 4 and getting that week off, if you can possibly get it, is so huge. And I mean, Mitchell Moses said it. I've had friends that have played in grand finals say it. They say, man, I've got to the grand final, and it's just so flat. Like, you get there and you're cooked, and then the team that's had the week off just cruises because they've only had to play 2 games in a row, sort of thing. So Cowboys, again, they need to somehow squeak into the 4 if they can, I think. And again, like they were really bad. Parramatta completely came over the top of them, and Parramatta were playing terrible. Like Parramatta were not very good, and we saw last week again they faded. They were a bit lucky, but I think they won by 1 try last week as well, sort of thing. And people were saying, oh, Cowboys are going to blow them off the park. It's going to be 30 plus, and I mean the newspaper still wrote that for some reason. But yeah, like I saw patches of how good they were last year, but again, just not quite for 80 minutes yet, sort of thing. So. And it's you can have a 5 minute, it just wasn't quite there for me yet. But it was man, they're taking steps in the massive steps in the right direction. But yeah, like we'll get into that. Like, and that's Cowboys fans watching. That's the last of the negative I have for you. It's just nothing's all positive, man. Like there's negatives to every team's games and stuff like that. Unless you maybe Penrith. No, they had negatives today too, man. But yeah, Scotty Drinkwater, so damn good. I had Scotty to score and Cowboys to win this one, so we won that little punt, which was good. Sammy Valley, brilliant. Val, pretty damn good. They're finally getting him good ball. He's so good at finding space behind the ruck. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, one last little negative. I feel like everyone at the Cowboys who's here, I feel like I did a few videos started this year where I was saying every single player in their team is worse than they were last year. I feel like all the Cowboys are pretty much back, if not maybe a little bit better, except for one. I'm still not feeling Townsend's kicking yet. He's just a little down, Like, he's substantially down from last year, and unfortunately for the Cowboys, that is probably a key position. But again, he doesn't have to be Nathan Cleary or Mitchell Moses. He just has to do his job. But there was a few pretty poor kicks from him where they really could have kept Parramatta under pressure and stuff like that. But yeah, geez, everyone else has gone to a new level now. Nanai's out. That looked bad. It looked like a peck or something like that, which is horrible. I thought Leilua's been great. Cotter's just brilliant, man. Absolutely love him. Jakey Granville was great. Neem was good as well. Tamalolo, I actually don't mind him off the bench. Seems to have lost a little bit of his sideways. That's why he's so damaging, because he'd hit the line, he'd almost double step, and you're like, big dudes aren't supposed to do that. And because he'd just get your weight off balance a little bit, then he'd hit you, and because he's so big and strong, he'd just drive. Seems to have lost a little bit of that. I don't know. It might just be a confidence thing, you know what I mean? When you've had knee and hamstring issues, it should just be a little bit of confidence in the knee, but I'm sure he'll be just fine. They're just easing him back in. Obviously, one of the best locks to ever lace him up. And obviously, they've got a pretty good one here too if he's keeping him on the bench. How good. Tuolangi good. Hiku's been pretty damn good as well. So, yeah, pretty solid performance from the Cows. We'll have a quick look at some of their stats. But, yeah, Scott Drinkwater, man, he's just fucking so good, bro. He's so good. He's, so what do you get? 37. So 168 metres, 37 post contact, 3 line breaks, 1 line break assist, 1 try assist, 10 tackle breaks. It is absurd, man. He's so good. Who else was pretty damn good? The cool thing about the Cowboys at the moment, and the thing that was cool about this game, I mean, like I said, they were pretty poor in the last 20, and they were literally standing 8, counting in the 8, like Gutherson and Moses started ripping them to shreds, and what was really tells us, oh man, they're gone. Like if just say rugby league went for 90 minutes, if there was another 5 minutes of play, I think the Eels probably would have run them down, but they did enough at the start. But whenever there was a break in play, you just watch everyone down on their haunches. Like, they were cooked. They were absolutely cooked. But yeah, it was nice spread out performance. Like, other than Scotty Drinkwater, it's just nice even numbers. You know what I mean? Just ones across the board. Plenty of people running for over 100 metres, but no big metres. So just a nice team effort. So that was real. I thought that was really good from the Cowboys. It wasn't like, it took 2 or 3 players were just played out of their skin. It was just everyone played real good, and Scotty just did his thing. So, but man, just anyone that says Clint Gutherson isn't a good rugby league player, like, can we? Like, we just frothed over Scotty Drinkwater's numbers and told him how good he was. It pisses me off. Not about Scotty, but players will like jerk off these players saying how great their numbers are, and then Gutherson does this shit all the time. Like 202, 51 post contact, line break, 1 line break assist, 3 try assists, 2 tackle breaks, and everyone's like, oh shit, he's not the king. He's so good, bro. He's so good. I don't even have him really in maybe in my top 3 or 4, but he's so good. It's not funny. It just pisses me off that people don't like him. It's so bizarre to me. So bizarre to me. Parramatta came out flat to me. Didn't look great. But again, maybe that was Cowboys being brilliant. They really missed. RCG for me has been. I mean, I was chatting to a mate and he goes, "Oh, geez, the Parramatta are falling off." I'm like, and I said, "Look, they're missing half their spine. They're missing their 9, their 6. They're missing their best try scorer and their best prop." And he goes, "Oh, Junior Paulo's their best prop." And I'm like, "No, I think Junior Paulo's probably been a better prop over the years, but this year, I think RCG, and I mean, Junior Paulo got dropped for RCG in the Origin, and I think RCG did a better job at Origin as well." So, plenty of losses there. Still no excuses though. They still have pretty damn good rugby league team there, and good enough to get a dub. Bryce Cartwright, he's just been absolutely brilliant, man. Super damaging. What else? Not much else to say. It was pretty average performance for 60 minutes at the very least. But yeah, Cowboys looking the goods, man. I mean, Parramatta have a hard run home. Sharks have a hard run home. Storm, Raiders, and Waz have pretty comfortable ones, so it's going to be tough for them to get in the 4, but it's possible, man. It's possible. I'm not too sure who their run home is. I know they've got Broncos in a couple of weeks. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. Broncos in a couple of weeks. Hopefully everyone's back for both teams, and I just can't wait for that one. It's in Townsville as well. Might even head up for that. God damn, I had the Mad Cow after. That'd be dope. So I'm really looking forward to that game, man. It should be absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I think this game's real nice for both because, like I said, I'm feeling both teams. I think they're both doing real good. But like I said, I'm not fully sold on either team yet. And that's not being a hater. I'm not one of these guys. Like most people, someone will have a good game and they'll be like someone will pump the Tigers and be like, "Oh man, they're premiership threats." I'm like, no, they're not, bro. Maybe if they did that to Penrith, I'd say they're premiership threats. You can't beat the Tigers and say you're a premiership threat. But I'm always a bit like, "Oh, just show me a little more. Show me a little bit more. All right, you're good. You're a premiership threat now." And they're definitely contenders. That's for damn sure. But threat, I can't give them threat status yet. But this game here, this is two real good, hot, informed teams. Should be both pretty full strength by then. Both in Townsville, local derby. This could be fireworks, this game, and I cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait to watch that. It's going to be sick. And we might find out who's legit, for real. Yeah, really could. But yeah, pretty damn. Let's have a look at the team stats real quick. 50%, like I said, and the Cowboys really dominated for 60 minutes of this, so Parramatta just and again, and this is the thing too, and this is why, it was so strange that Cowboys gassed. This is what I'm a little bit. I'm like, are they running out of puff a little bit because Parramatta were terrible with the ball. They only completed at 70. Cowboys completed brilliantly. 83% was is absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? They had plenty more sets and stuff like that. So they did less tackling. You get what I'm saying? Less tackling. It was in Townsville on their home ground in the humidity. So they should be a little more used to that. You know what I mean? That's why I was finding it strange. I'm like, Parramatta should be out on their feet. Not the Cowboys. They did less tackling. They were in their own home environment. You know what I mean? All that sort of stuff. And I was sitting there going, geez, why are they out on their feet? That was a little bit alarming to me. And that's what I'm saying. It's a long season, man, and that's why even when Parramatta dropping games at the start, everyone's like, "Oh, if we just go on a little streak here," I'm like, "Yeah, but you're putting all your eggs in one basket, man." And then you get to the finals, and you know what I mean. You're exhausted because you've literally. This is the thing. The reason why finals is so intense is because every game's sudden death. When you leave your run late, you've played 10 games of sudden death, and then you've got more games. You know what I mean? It's so hard. But what do you do? It's just the way it is. But yeah, fingers crossed it was just whatever. Maybe there was a virus that went through there and that people, you know what I mean? People getting over it and that can mess with your breathing and stuff a bit as well. But it was visible that Cowboys were blowing for the last 20 minutes. Plenty of line breaks. What about 4 of them were line drinkies? Tackle breaks, plenty as well. Absolutely brilliant. Lost the forward battle a little bit. Lost their sets per distance to Parramatta. Won the ruck. Parramatta, I thought, did a pretty good job of slowing that down a little bit, just because Cowboys are so good at bloody playing the ball quickly. Absolutely. Look at those offload battles, 32-6. God damn. Maybe that played a little bit to do with the fatigue, like multiple having to defend one tackle 4 times is pretty annoying. But yeah, obviously a lot of that was right at the end of the game. And tackle efficiency as well. That won't get it done. So, just like these numbers here won't win premierships, but you know what I mean. There's plenty of good numbers in here as well, like great play the ball speeds. Meters are still good, and your completion rate's good. So that's why I said that's why I'm not like sold on the Cowboys yet. But they're taking monstrously big steps in the right direction every week. So they're getting good. Let's move on. Panthers Doggies. We'll breeze through this one pretty damn quick. And Penrith, man, they're good. This is the gold standard. They're the team to beat. They're the pinnacle, man. It was. I mean, they took their foot off the gas in the second half massively. They really did. Spencer Leaney went down. That sort of messed with their rotations a little bit. But Penrith, they never so for example, Cowboys, who are one of the best attacking teams to watch, like for example, when they were playing Tigers, they tried to score tries on every set. You know what I mean? They were just kicking high, kicking this, like score. You know what I mean? And that's why they sometimes can put on monster scores. Parramatta does it when they're on it as well, and who else? Bunnies can do it too, and so like that. Bunnies do it. Sharks do it as well. Penrith sort of don't. Like there was multiple times. Penrith are up 24, and they could have easily done some crazy stuff or put a big bomb up for it to contest, and Cleary he'll just low kick straight to the corner, no contest, pin them down. I feel like they could have won this by 80. You know what I'm saying? But they just played the percentages, and then they got to a nice lead, and then they sort of stopped playing the percentages, and like Cleary was kicking from his own 10-metre line out for wingers and do a little bit of crazy stuff and stuff like that. But I want to give the Bulldogs a massive rap. This was the first time in a long time. I felt like they didn't give up, and this would have been the easiest game for them to give up in. And you'll see in their team stats in a minute. In fact, I'll do it now, just because, man, I've been pretty critical of them. A lot of people have, and I really have. But at the end of the day, if you lose and you try, I won't bag you, sort of thing. So look at this. I mean, they played a full strength, close to a full strength Penrith team in Penrith, and look, completion 81%. That's so good, man. They had more time in possession than Penrith. Okay, they lost it, but these numbers are all right. You're facing the best forward pack in the comp, and you matched it with them. Like I actually noticed from the very first set, I'm like, oh, they actually restricted Penrith meters. It was great. I mean, they still lost it, but you get what I'm saying. Like these guys were getting flogged through the middle by bottom 8 teams. Post contact again lost it, but not by much. Line breaks again, not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. Tackle breaks, again, they lost it, but not ridiculous. Like, these are respectable numbers, man. Like, they actually ran for more metres per set. I don't think they've done that this year, and they did it against Penrith. They tied the ruck with the best team in the comp. Yeah, like, these are great, man. So, Doggies fans, I've been pounding you lately, but this is really good numbers, man. And if you do this, if you play like this against more average teams, you win plenty of games, sort of thing. So, really, really good, man. I mean, tackle efficiency was better than the Panthers. I mean, this is good, man. This is really, really good. Look, they missed a lot of tackles. That's not great, but again, like, they made Penrith miss 46. You know what I'm saying? So, look, errors 5. It's great. Really, really good. So, I just wanted to take that time to give them a rap because, like I said, I'll rip a team and say how shit they are if they get beaten by 44-18 and they didn't try, but they genuinely had a solid crack this game. So, it was solid. So Perrin was pretty good. This Wilson was not bad either. Carraz, I like him on the wing better. This kid needs a full season of rugby league. He's going to be a handful. But yeah, it was pretty damn good. So Avarillo went to fullback. I can't believe they got rid of this kid. He was pretty damn good, I hate to say. And forwards are solid too. It was good. But against Serraldo, man, he's pretty cooked, eh? Like, I didn't understand this, and then they changed it. And then Reid Marnie, I know he was sick, but he started Reid Marnie off the bench, and when he put him on at lock. Like, what the hell? He's 40 kilos. He's never played there at first grade. and he's apparently sick, and you put him in one of the hardest positions in the league. That especially, it's super hard to do when you're undersized. Well, I don't know about this Serraldo dude, man. For real, like, I don't know if I don't know. I have to wait and see. I've been trying to be positive with the Doggies today, so I'm not going to go into it anymore. But that to me, some of the calls that Serraldo's made this year, but even just in this game, I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Dylan Edwards great. I thought Peachy was pretty good. To'o's just a freak, man. Luai great. Cleary good game. First game back. Did not look hampered at all. Didn't see any strapping on. He looked free. He did, Jesus, a couple of peaches as well. Moses Leota, easily the most underrated prop in the game. Fisher Harris had silly numbers. Liam Martin was rocks and diamonds. Isaiah Yeo, pretty damn good. Lindsay Collins had a couple of moments as well. Have a look at some of these numbers. Penrith's numbers are usually pretty impressive to look at. Right, so we'll have a look at so Dylan Edwards, 180, one line break assist. Brian To'o, man. He the GOAT, bro. He the GOAT. 241 metres, 67 post-contact, 2 line breaks, 10 tackle busts. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, Moses Leota and Fisher Harris's numbers, I know these are really good numbers, like 164 metres. He did most of these, in fact, about 80% of these in the first 30 minutes of the game. He had a massive rest and came back on, and when he came back on, he was mostly defending, because he came back on when the Doggies had all the ball. He's so good, bro. And then Moses Leota did most of his numbers in the first half as well, but yeah, really blew him off the park early, and again, like, I felt like there was probably matched effort for effort, but just way too much firepower here. Way too much firepower. So, yeah, congratulations to both teams, to be honest. Like I said, you can be proud of a loss. You can. Go down swinging, you know what I mean? Like, go down swinging at least. Even Parramatta, they went down swinging. You know what I mean? Like, to me, this is a good loss. The only reason it's a bad loss is because they lost players in the process. But Parramatta went down swinging. You know what I mean? So, and again, the game we're about to get into, again, Sharkies, I mean, they lost. This was, I feel like, is a little bit of a bad loss, but they went down swinging as well. Now this game, Seagulls have this in them. They blew the Sharks off the park, and this is actually crazy when we get to the team numbers. How even the stats ended up. This was literally two different teams in both halves. It was absolutely wild. Seagulls came out and absolutely blew them off the park. And I've been saying this all year. If you follow me for a minute. I said, Seagulls going to have games where they blow teams out by 50. They've got that team. They've got that in them. It's more the consistency and the chemistry and, just bits and pieces like that. That sort of whether they'll do it, be a good rugby league team over a long period of time, over a season. But like they've got big wins in them. Like they're going to be hard to tip against, or they have been pretty hard to tip against them for. But yeah, look at this. So 30-0 or 24-0 at halftime, was it? All right, how did this go? Okay, that's how it went. So it's 24-0 at halftime. Kohler scores again. You're going, geez. Like, I'm sitting there going, this could be 50+ nil. Like, they're going to blow Sharks off the park, destroy their for and against, have the Sharks tumbling down the 8 because they're going to have such a poor for and against, because their for and against would then be probably almost worse than the Cows and, worse than the Para and the Rabbitohs and stuff like that. I'm sitting there going, wow, this is crazy. And I was about to do a video on it on TikTok and go, what the hell happened to the Sharkies? And then they just go, try. And they had a chance to win the game. Well, tie the game up and then a conversion to win the game. It was wild. And, to be honest as well, Hines, 3 from 5, it's not horrendous. Garrick wasn't much better. But couple he missed were very kickable as well. Like, it wasn't like he missed a couple sideline conversions. They were sort of a good 20 metres in. Not straight in front or anything, but very kickable sort of thing. So, yeah, crazy. I sort of wanted them to win, not because I wanted the Sharks to win. I was just like, it'd be so cool to watch this comeback. I love watching comebacks. But then I saw Jakey on the sideline all depressed. I'm like, oh no, I love Jake. I don't want to see him lose this game. Oh, it was funny, but yeah, but look how even these stats are, considering that this happened in the first half. Like, pretty much in the first 44 minutes of football, this happened. They had no ball, and then just look how even it ends up. So 51% possession, pretty much the same. Completion rate, exactly the same. Running meters, close, very close. Post contact, Manly won that handily. Line breaks, difference by 2. Tackle breaks, 26 to 27, average set distance. Manly got them there too. Play the ball speed, identical. You know what I mean? It's wild how this game plays out sometimes. Offloads, 13 to 10, pretty close. 40-20, that was a great 40-20. Tackle efficiency, 88 to 90, pretty close. Missed tackles, 29 to 26. It's just errors, 10-10. Like, penalties conceded, 9-11. It was just crazy because, like, in the first half, this was just, like, all Manly. Like, no. Then just, like, fully swung back the other way. And the stats almost ended up being even. And the score ended up almost being even. Oh, it's crazy, man. It's a crazy game. Now, Sharks are in big trouble, man. Just because they're in big trouble, but at the same time, this is the problem Fitzgibbon has. I actually think if he didn't change, like he made some changes in this game, right? So Trindle came in, Connor Tracy came in, and I actually love the changes. Not mad at it. It's all good. I get why he did it, but unfortunately, Sharks actually had a couple of opportunities to score tries in the first half, and they fully got bungled by, Trindle did a flat pass when he should have gone out the back, and Nico Hines got mixed up with this guy here, Jesse, was it Colquhoun? I don't know how to say his name. But they were very clunky, you know what I mean? I was like, geez, like it actually wouldn't have been 30-0. Like they probably would have scored a couple, which means Manly probably wouldn't have scored at least one. So the score probably would have been 24-12 or something like that. And then they really could have made that run on the way home as well. But so I don't know if these changes costed Manly the game, but I actually think if they had their genuine lineup, because they were going to leak tries anyway. You know, they did leak tries anyway. They got 30 put on them anyway, so it didn't really solve the problem. But I felt like they would have actually scored more than 26 points if they didn't make the changes, if that makes sense. So they leave the team as it was, Talakai in there, Moylan in there, stuff like that. I still think they concede 30, but they've got the best attack in the comp. I probably think they score 38 or 40 because Manly's defence wasn't brilliant, especially in the second half. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was. So I don't know if they were good or bad changes. Maybe they were good. Maybe Manly do score 40 points with the left edge left as it was. But to me, their left edge was so porous anyway, and they were scoring at tries there at will anyway. I was like, you may as well at least kept your offense the same, sort of thing. So I'm not too sure if it was a good or bad move from Fitzgibbon, but yeah. I actually think they probably won the game if they leave the team the same. But also I fully understand why Fitzgibbon did it. He had to make changes because they were leaking points like crazy. So it's sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I think this game here, I think they would have won if they didn't mess with the team. And they're in trouble, man. I mean, look, haven't won a game against a top 4 team this year. Look at this. We've got their run home now. They've got Panthers next week, Bunnies the week after that, should be full strength, Titans, Cowboys, and then Knights, Sharks. So an extremely hard run home. Now for me personally, that's obviously a loss now. I haven't refreshed that yet. I actually think that Sharks have to beat one of these two teams in the next 2 weeks. I think this is their season in the next 2 weeks. And here's why. Not because they can't go on to win the rest of these games and still make the 8. Of course they can. But I just feel like, look, they've gone loss. If they go loss, they're now down 4 on a trot. When you lose 4 in a row, the media starts pumping you. You know what I mean? You start making rash changes. You start getting desperate. You start not playing your naturals. You get what I'm saying? All these extra pressures come in. Your phonies, you start doing stuff you haven't done. All this pressure comes. Sort of about like what I was talking about with the Tigers earlier, where people are you're sort of almost forced to make changes because, your board's telling you this, the media is telling you that. You hear it can become a lot. And I just think a win, if they let's just say for argument's sake, I don't think it's going to happen. They can go down and just beat Penrith well, just not even give them a hide, and 28-16. I think all that dies, and then they can go back to work. And I genuinely think they can knock off quite a few of these games, and they'll be fine. But yeah, again, if they go loss, all of a sudden they've lost 4 games in a row. You know, even if, let's say, then they beat the Titans, then they've got to go up and play the Cowboys. They're in big trouble. Like, their season could legitimately be over by right here. Again, like I said, I think if they lose these 2, I'd bet on them to miss the 8. But their season could officially be over right here. It really could. It really could. Here technically, I guess, because this isn't a walkover game, and Raiders, you know, they're probably going to be possibly close to a top 4 spot, playing for a top 4 spot, so they're not going to be taking that game lightly either. So, yeah, they're in big trouble, man. Big trouble. Bad time to start losing games. Really bad time to start losing games. But anyway, all right, let's have a quick look at next week's games, guys. All right, we're around 22, and I said it before, you wouldn't want to play Roosters on the way home. Very winnable still, and god damn, those odds are crazy. In fact, I might even have a flutter on that. Not because I think the Roosters will win, I just think that's great value, sort of thing. I don't think, like you heard what I said I thought about the Broncos. I think they're doing great, but I don't think they're, you know, that's Penrith odds, man. That's crazy. Bunnies playing the Tigers. God damn, should be a pretty comfy win there with Latrell and everything back. Storm, Para. Damn, I don't mind that value either, but Storm in Melbourne, pretty damn good. Don't lose 2 games in a row too often. Raiders, Knights. Knights playing for their season, man. And Raiders, they need a dub. Like I said, I don't think you can win the comp from outside the top 4. So you really need to get in there. Dragons, Seagulls. Damn, man. Seagulls Seagulls go on a bit of a streak. They could push right up. Oh, they're tied with the Knights. Jesus Christ. Panthers, Sharkies. God damn. So, yeah, big game for the Sharkies, man. Big. Oh. What? They're paying $5.75. Wow. They're crazy odds, man. Then we've got Doggies, Dolphins. Titans, Cowboys, and Wars get the bye. How good? How good? So yeah, this is it's going to be a good round. It's going to be a really good round. We could see some upsets here, I reckon. Definitely. Should be a good one. We're done. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.